So I just gently re-find the earth with our tailbone. Sit bones can help us feel both the tailbone and the earth. And feel the tailbone relaxing or releasing down toward the earth, into the earth. And as you feel this quality of settling or sinking or downward, or gravity, simultaneously, can you sense an uplift, a buoyancy? Is it possible to feel or hold two qualities same time? The sink and the ascent, the gravity and the float. And connect to breath. So that breath may play in and with these qualities. Feel as the shoulders sink and settle and release down, the neck joints and the skull bones lift up and free up. So that as we ground into some vantage and perception, it offers freedom elsewhere in our body. You know, just as an example, when I sink and settle into sensing, it frees me up from things like rumination or perseverating. Just a really simple example. Let's place the soles of our feet together in Baddha Konasana. The alternate nostril breathing will work today, has no holds. So simply from inhale to exhale. We'll start off with a very simple, like 1-to-1 ratio. I like to let my initial inhale set the pace. So select any hand you like. I'm using the thumb, the ring finger. And as always, gentle closure. Exhale everything out. And as you release the abdomen, begin that next inhalation. Switch over, so ring down, thumb up. Exhale out the opposite nostril. Inhaling through the thumb up, side. And then switching, exhale out the ring finger up, side. And just like so, we'll continue your pace. And you may just start to notice if you're more inclined to have a longer inhale. Some of us have a longer exhale. These are just tools for noticing what we do. These are not instructions for do something that is predetermined to be right. These are just tools for noticing, what am I doing right now? So this is just one behavior that we can bring our awareness to. A deep and profound behavior, for sure. And I offered two qualities, kind of a sinking, a settling, but also a float. And you may start to notice that one of those is most kind of automatically prominent. You may find yourself having to remember, oh, there's a couple qualities that I can feel. Some of us may have that predisposition toward the sinking or the settling or the compressing or the downward. I can feel the downward motion really easily. Some of us will have that predilection to feeling the up, the ascent, the lift, the just tools for helping us notice, what do we do? What are we doing? And we'll continue until you've exhaled out the ring finger side. Good. Folding forward. So if you are complete with that pranayama, bring your hands in front of your shins. We're still in Baddha Konasana. And I'm using the hands to support this lengthening through the core, through the spine. So you may need to put the hands on the feet or the arms against the shin. You'll find the best spot so that as you're feeling that initiation of breath, the lungs and the heart lead forward just a little bit. And then exhaling, pressing the soles of the feet together, the heels, the outer edges, and the big toe ball mounts. And can you sense a breath in the pelvis, in the pelvic floor? And gliding the shoulders away from the neck. And in these last couple of breath rounds, feel the neck soften. This may change some of the spinal architecture momentarily. You may feel more of that bowing of the spine, that bending. And then inhale. When we come upright, Use your hands, help the knees together, straighten the legs. I'll turn sideways so we can refresh our memory on Dandasana. So my legs are straightened out, toes pointing toward the sky, and I'm palming the ground. We would do something like this if we were getting ready for scales or Talasana. My fingertips point straight ahead, hands right beside the hips so they're underneath the shoulders. There you go. Push straight down, so engaging the arms. The shoulders slide down. So if you hunched to get your palms down, now press to lengthen back up. And as you're pushing, can you feel the sit bones almost hanging, settling down toward the earth? Wow, deepening breath. There may be a lot more shoulder structure that's engaged. How do we explore? How do we feel breath around the heart and the lungs, even as we're pressing down vibrantly? That's it, Marissa, that's it. And the legs, I'm contracting those quadriceps, straightening the legs. I found this to be a really sweet diagnostic for little torsions in the rib cage, in the pelvis, and kind of asymmetries, if you will, in the QL, and some of these really deep lumbar and hip structures. So give it just a couple more exploratory breaths. I'm not pressing my weight up, but I'm engaging my arms, I'm engaging my legs. And when we release, we'll lie back and let's go straight to having a prop to work with. So select a roll or a block, place it between legs, and we'll reach the legs up. And take just a moment to feel the back side of your body kind of given into earth. As if there's something behind you, actually supporting you, holding you. It's not just a semantics exercise, this is a somatic exercise. Like, can we remember a lot of these actions, these enactments that we've already known as human organisms? And again, maybe there's this tendency to not feel my backside or what's behind me. Inhale, and you feel breath in the back, the low back, the sacrum. And keeping the neck relaxed, squeeze, give some pressure to your prop. Curl the tailbone only if it works for your hips and your pelvic floor. Exhale, lengthening the backside. So not lifting the backside so much as feeling the backside lengthen. And it just lifts up as a result of lengthening. Draw the low belly down, and the tailbone shifts just as a result of moving low belly in deeply toward the sacrum. And then releasing that abdominal area. Inhale, the head relaxes down, the tailbone slightly unfurls. Apply the squeeze. Exhale, backside lengthens. And so the head and the shoulders lift. Maintain the squeeze if it's okay. And now draw the belly down and feel how the tailbone kind of curls toward the nose. And then as you release, inhale. Let's do a few more. Just squeeze. And then as we exhale, the backside lengthens. Because it lengthens, it lifts up. And drawing the tailbone down can help us feel into that abdominal space, that pelvic space, the tailbone area. Okay, feeling toward the rectum, the membrane of the rectum is right in front of the tailbone. Right? Continue. We'll do just a few more on our own. Yeah. Wonderful. So if you feel complete in that exploration, then simply put your feet down and we'll be done with that. When you remove the prop, let's turn over onto elbows and knees. We can recreate some of that Dandasana, that right angle seated pose, but in dolphin. So we set up the elbows under the shoulders. The forearms out in front. Toes curled under, inhaling into the lungs. There we go. Exhaling, smoothly elevate the knees. And whether the heels touch the ground or not, let's engage those quadriceps, those thigh muscles above the knee. And pressing with the legs. So the sit bones, you might perceive the sit bone lifting or lengthening away from the low back, the mid back, where we know our diaphragm to be, our lung diaphragm. And I'd like to draw our attention into the lower portion of our torso, between the lung diaphragm, mid-back, and the pelvic floor, the sit bones. So one, just feeling breath in this area. Does it penetrate this area? Does this area have, is there sense capacity here? This quality of ascent and sink, do any of these qualities live here? Are they perceptible here? And smoothly raising the right foot first off the ground. So even as we continue pressing through the left heel, reach through the ball of the right foot. And we'll settle the right foot down, switching sides. When we set the left foot down, gently set the knees down. Slide the hands more or less under your shoulders, or basically hands and knees, and contract the triceps. And there's this twofold move, this interior, or this inward, like our arms are compressing the space between them. Now that's the inner arms. And just so our elbows don't buckle or twangle, pull the triceps and the arms apart. So you're working those outer arm lines. And now do both same time. And as you push the earth, arm lines really engaged. You can start to feel those shoulder blades and those ribs relationship. And on exhale, we'll press the knees off the ground. Keep those active arm lines. There's inner arm lines, where I'm squeezing, compressing the air between my arms. And there's outer arm lines. You can feel those by pulling the pinkies and the thumb tips apart. Warrior one, inhale the right foot forward. And we can start off our warrior one as gently as our back needs it. But I'm feeling for the tailbone relaxing down, releasing down. So I'm making that distinction, that verbal distinction, so you don't have to engage the butt to aggressively or actively pull the pelvis down. Now the arms, same thing as that downward dog. I'm compressing the air between my arms. And as if I'm pulling my arms apart, but they remain parallel. Or if you like the really traditional warrior one, you can start to put your palms together. Twisting warrior. And exhale. We'll hook that left elbow over the right thigh. Left hand make fists, right hand can press against. Now, let's return to our Ujjayi breath, because there's some really great warming or heat building potential here. And it's soft. It's not like I'm aggressively trying to make things hot, right? Like just by calmly hanging out with my breath, feeling my breath, not letting it fade or my attention dissipate from my breath, I'll start to get warm, right? Even if you haven't turned the heat on yet, there's a lot of potential in warmth by way of breath. And just gently from the inside, from the deep, deep interior, elongating, unfolding. It's almost like a kernel of breath from deep inside the diaphragm starts to unfold and unfold and unfurl. Now we can remain here in Warrior One. You may also place your left knee down for more ease or stability. Twisting extended warrior. So my left arm remains on my leg, sliding the left armpit down. I can put my hand on a block, reaching the right arm overhead. So that left hand can go to a wall that you might be near. It can go down to a block. It can go down to the ground. That's a little bit of a twisty. This is patient connection to breath. Just this present, growing, enduring connection to breath. Now what's beautiful is we don't need to do anything to the breath or with the breath, but rather just establish that connection, right? Because we really value the things that we have connection and relationship with. And so just keep that connection to our breath. Inhaling, unwind smoothly, setting the hands down under the shoulders. Exhale. We'll step that right foot back and we'll lower plank to the ground. Let's go all the way to the ground. Cobra, reaching back through the legs. Inhale. Feel how the abdomen swells with breath. Chest lifts. Hands help. Exhaling, lower downward dog. Hands under the chest. And we press back. And again, those inner arm lines, engage them. When I engage inner arms, part of how I know that I'm doing it is there's a commensurate wrapping. This is a very initial wrapping. I'll feel the arm bones rotate, and because they rotate, the upper trapezius lengthen around the neck. There's a little more room between my arm and my neck. So it's like press, yep, and then press out. Straighten the arms, straighten. And I'm straightening the arms as I do this. Nothing wonky is going on in my elbows. Push me out. Keep that. Push me in. Good, keep that. There you go. All right, let's do that. Warrior One on the other side. Inhale, left foot forward. And exhaling, releasing the tailbone down. So the tailbone shifts as a function of what I let go. And that may feel different than the tailbone moving as a function of what I can gain command of. There you go, yeah. And the arms, they're inner arms. In Warrior One, there's outer arms in Warrior One. We can have them both. And so there may be that quality of think, that quality of ascent. Maybe both. Or maybe start to notice which one you gravitate toward, which one you tend to notice or perceive more prominently. And if you can feel both of those qualities, what occurs is they start to balance each other or occur with some equality of expression. What if I feel that settling, that sinking, that gravity, that descent about as equally as I can feel a quality of freedom and ascent and upliftment? Twisting warrior. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. And if you have some hip concerns that you're working with, please and always remember we can open these twists up. So if it bothers your inner hip to put your elbow on your thigh, you can always free up the hip by putting the hand on the ground, to the right of the thigh. So we have lots of caring options. Now, as we move into this twisting extended warrior, you have the option of putting knee down or keeping knee up. And then exhaling, we'll slide that right armpit down. Right hand can go to block or ground. Left arm reaches overhead. Keep reaching, feeling for the feet or whatever that is that contacts the ground. So just shifting how we perceive our body can get energy moving. So if there's a bit of a stagnation before the foot, sometimes just feeling in the direction of the foot, feeling the foot can start to create some movement pathways. And releasing, inhale, we unwind, hands under shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. I don't mention it explicitly, but from upward dog to downward dog, some of you have that ability, or you can you can roll right over the toe joints. You may have to just know it and check in with that gradually. If there's, arthritis in the toe joints, you may want to omit that. But if there's no pain in the toe joints, there can be a lot of great benefit from kind of rolling over the tops of the toes. Just something to have in our toolkit. So engaging the inner arms, the outer arms, both and. And here you may feel if one gets a little more activity or noticing, maybe I can more easily feel and work the inner arms than the outer arms. Interlock warrior. Inhale the right foot forward. Interlock, we're bringing the right arm to the inside of the right leg. Okay. Now, if you're having a little bit more of a gentler start to your morning, you may want to just keep the right hand on the ground. That's perfect. Left hand behind the back. Okay. So this is just a nice, a gentler way of coming into your morning. Right arm under right thigh. Connect hands. Interlock Warrior. So right about here, I'm just going to take a wild guess and just kind of imagine that many of us might feel the sink, the descent or the compression much more than the lightness and the freedom and the expansion and the ascent and the unfurling here. So I just want to bring up those qualities. Maybe we weren't even really sure we could feel a lightness or an elongation or an expansion here. And when we release the hands, inhale, bring the hands to the ground, and we'll turn the hips, readying for pyramid. Step the left foot forward. Okay. Now, I personally like to bring the hands up high on the leg initially. Initially, this allows me to lengthen through my trunk. And lengthen isn't a rigid quality. Lengthen is a spatial perception. And while I keep those legs really involved, those quadriceps are contracted. I'm using my active feet. And I can always work my way downward. And these final couple of breaths, feel the spine relaxing, the muscles relaxing. It is truly hanging, gravity hanging that spine and the head down. Bend the right knee for pigeon. Step left foot back. Good, a hearty 1 foot. Walk the right foot over. Lie the shin down. Oh, when we were in Dolphin, I'd asked us if we could momentarily kind of centrate in the area between these diaphragms, the lung diaphragm and the pelvic diaphragm. So again, can you discover your breath occurring between the sit bones and the mid-back? You feel that in the back side, the front side, the left side, the right side, the outside, the inside. And in these final couple breath moments, reach back to that left leg. And inhale the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. both the insides of the arms and the outsides of the arms, the inner arm lines, the outer arm lines. All right, Interlock Warrior. Inhale, left foot forward. Again, if you want to take a subtler, a less windy approach, we can go left hand to the ground, right hand behind back. The nice thing is that when I put my left hand down, I can press and I can start to kind of feel that distribution, that downward descent, that sediment, the gravity, and I can push myself and feel the ascent, the float, the freedom in my body. Just my personal observation is that I tend to feel the freedom when I'm grounded in something. And then if to take that a little further, I think there's correlative freedoms and groundings. We can really ground ourselves in a material. We can ground ourselves in a perception. We can ground ourselves in a way of listening. And they each confer their own freedoms as we do so. So to put it succinctly, kind of like one of my teachers would, so get somewhere. Get there, get somewhere. Okay. And we're exiting for pyramid. Release the hands, turning the pelvis, and I step this right foot forward about 1 foot. Now my preference, you don't have to do it this way, is I'm going to walk my hands all the way up. And I feel both my sit bones, especially that left one, reaching back as my trunk lengthens forward and then just by happenstance down. Connect to breath. And then soften, releasing spine. So the weight of the head, the weight of the trunk can hang down for a breath moment. Bend the left knee for pigeon. Inhaling, step right foot back, knee down. Left foot walks over. Left shin and knee move to ground. Feel for relaxing right between the sit bones. And again, I'll repeat this just because we have a little different orientation now. Can you breathe the sensitivity of your rectum to help you feel the very tip of your tailbone? So yes, I am asking us if it's possible, feeling the rectum, kind of bringing our attention, enhancing sensitivity in and for the rectum tailbone area. Very, very sensitive tailbone area. Part of our spinal cord matter, the pia, actually reaches the tailbone without its sheath or durable coating, right? Our spinal cord has this amazing durable coat of protection and rawr. But there's a strand of this really delicate nerve material that, it's like nerve skin, that just continues past the coat all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Inhale the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. And so if any sensitivity has grown or remains from the tailbone, can you feel the sit bones relaxing apart? It really is such a sensitive nerve area, the tailbone. But sometimes we take some spills or some falls and the tailbone actually kind of gets a little, the nerve can get bruised. The bone can be ajar, askew. Right. We're just set up for easy bird. Inhale the right foot forward. Now, as I'm saying easy bird, I'm getting into interlock. If you would rather do this at the wall, if you find that a nicer inroad, I'll show that too. I'm getting the interlock around the right leg, and then arriving at standing, picking up the right leg. And here's the alternate if I'd rather. And let's be honest, a lot of days I'd rather just get some support from the wall. Okay. And what's nice about the wall support is I can really go for the uplift in the chest and the down pressure of the left foot, the leg. You can feel that down and that up. Yeah, there you go, that's it. Good, and we'll release, setting that right foot down smoothly, carefully. Exhaling, chaturanga, hands to ground, step the right foot back. Inhale, upward dog. Please use cobra if it's a better fit for your shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Now, as I engage the arm lines, the one thing, I'm in a really stable place and I can re-engage the arms after that move that can kind of tug and kind of pull on the shoulder blade and the arms a little bit. So that's really nice. But I can also feel the bottom third of my shoulder blade starting to move. That's it, that's it. Keep going for that, Michelle. That's it. There you go. The right one's moving. Mm-hmm. And here's that interlock on the left side. Inhale the left foot forward. We're setting up the interlock on our way to the easy bird. Okay. So, yep, we get that left arm under the left thigh. Now, if you'd rather just help yourself to a wall and get some support, beautiful. We step the right foot forward. Good, good, good. Oh. Ground down. Feel the ground part. That's your right leg. Yep, the bone cells, you can feel them moving toward the earth. And then the ascent, there's something here that is floating, freeing, ascending, expanding, unfurling. Yeah, there you go. All right, and then inhaling, let's set that left foot carefully down. Step the right foot back, chaturanga, last chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, gently set the knees down. Grab your strap, have a seat. Right. So I'm in shoelace, doesn't matter which side, they're all good. And I'm making my loop conform to my shoulder width. 14 or maybe 16 inches. So that when I slip my upper arms into the loop, you see that? I have roughly parallel arms. Okay. So I've kind of captured my upper arm. There you go. Good. And we just bring our hands down somewhere below our shoulders. I was just raising them for visual. Okay. So I'm going to pull apart against the strap. So hopefully your strap stays put. So the outer arms, we've done this a few times these weeks. And as I pull apart against the strap, I can actually glide my shoulders down. And then as I reach my fingertips forward, like here, take this. I can feel that the shoulder blades gliding around. So nice thing here is I can get a fairly equal pulling apart through each of my shoulders as I reach my fingertips forward. Now, pulling apart, gliding the shoulders down, reaching the palms, the fingertips forward. I'm going to start a fold. Now, let's say my fold just goes a few inches forward. Great. Pull apart, glide the shoulders down, reach the arms, the palms, the fingertips forward. Relax the arms. Folding forward any degree more without the arm component. And inhale, we'll come back up. We'll switch the cross of our legs. We'll do that for the other side. There's a significant structural and kind of a pattern, a movement pattern of these shoulders, how these shoulders and these hips connect with each other. Just trying to bring some of that up a little bit. All right. So I've got the loop. I've changed my shoelace. Pull the loop apart, pulling my arms against a static loop. Glide the shoulders down. Just that pull apart usually helps our shoulders to kind of situate back and down. But now I reach the fingertips forward. I'm palms up, so you can try that out. Okay, just a variation on eagle. Sometimes we cross our arms to get a stretch in the upper back. We're just keeping them open, using a strap. And we'll begin any degree of reaching forward or folding forward. And then staying connected with breath, as breath can help me stay connected to my body. Again, those things that I keep connection with, whether it's my body, my breath, my relationships, I tend to value those things. And I find the flip of that is true. If I want to value something more than I do, I just connect with it again and again and again. And then releasing the arms for any degree, fold more. And when we release, we'll come upright, unwind the legs, remove strap, and let's rest for Shavasana. With our back to earth, can we allow for that sense of gravity? Like as we release our back, the ground beneath us, it's got it. So we're committing to feel a form of support. Yes, it's from the ground. But if we yet need to grow those receptor sites, if you will, those receptor sites for support, right? This is a great way to build those. Just, all right, here's another opportunity to practice feeling support. And then the commensurate lightness or freedom. Where do you feel that? Do you feel that? All right. When you're ready, bend knees, turn to a side, pressing to seated. Namaste.